Before you leave this annexure, page 10, General, just in sequence, I would like to understand the sequence of time and dates between this annexure and your statement. In your statement, your meeting with the minister is on the 31st of March. And as I understand it, the way that I have read it, your interact that seemed to suggest that that was the first interaction about Mr. Govender at the 31st of March in the first you get a report from Colonel Naika that the minister was present and the minister wants a meeting, and then you attend a meeting in the afternoon on the same date. And the impression at this point I got is that you first interact with the minister about Mr. Govender on the 31st. But if you look at page 10 of your annexures, you already on the 30th of March are speaking to the minister about the local branch having raised concern on a candidate. As from the charter I picked up, you say, I did a preliminary check and of note, no new cases against him since he last canvassed for national elections. I'm assuming you're still speaking about Mr. Govender because you've got his name in brackets. When, in fact, do you start talking to the minister about Mr. Govender?
Chair, so the heads-up call that I got from Mr. Udram was on the 27th, and the minister's campaign trail was on the 30th. So on the 30th, so on the 27th, when I got the heads up, it's the same 27th that you see is consistent with the chats with Captain Chetty, where I actioned him to draw me the profile, which he then supplied to me. That profile, I only supplied it to the minister on the 30th, which is on the day of his campaign trail, when I said to him that you may pick up chatter from the local branch. And subsequently, I gave him the profile of the candidate to substantiate why I'm saying there's nothing, no new cases. Then on the 31st, post the campaign trail, the day after is when the minister arrived at the police station, and where we then had a specific discussion around CAS 61 and the rest of the complaints that the minister was referring to.
I guess my question is, at which point and why are you speaking to the minister about Mr. Govender on the 30th? At which point did the minister raise Mr. Govender with you? If he did, at which point? And if he did not do that before the 31st, why are you discussing Mr. Govender with him on the 30th?
Chair, that was out of the conversation that Mr. Udram had with me on the 27th. So I remember I said I wasn't going to the campaign trail. Now, already in my mind, the minister is going to be given a narrative that the police is doing nothing about somebody in that particular campaign, and that particular station falls under my span of control. So meaning that if the station is doing nothing, it means the district commissioner is also doing nothing. So to preempt or to how do I put it, to say to the minister, we are aware that the local branch will raise the issue of this candidate, and this is our understanding of the candidate proactively so. He never asked for it at that point.
If the minister said, were to come here and say to us, you started the Govender communication or discussion with him, he didn't initiate it, you initiated it, he would be correct then?
He would be 100% correct.
Yes. And for someone who has a concern about the role of this mixed role of the minister, you know that he's on the campaign trail.
Yes.
You've told us how uncomfortable it is for officers to have politicians meddling, but you know that it's an ANC business, and you initiate discussion not only just about a citizen but an opponent of his party. How does one reconcile your concern about the minister's, what appears to be inappropriate involvement or use of power by the minister, with the fact that you are in fact the one that initiates that discussion?
Yes, Commissioner, when I provided that information to the minister, and like the fact that I ended up in the meeting, in both instances, it was my way of saying, Minister, this is what you may receive. This is how you should stop it where it starts. When I gave the minister that profile, mine was to arm the minister when he picks this up, because it is quite clear that the ANC comrades there were going to initiate the conversation to taking the minister into something that will create this blurred line. And in my mind, it was to say to the minister, this is how you should answer the ANC colleagues, that there's this matter with this candidate, there's nothing new, let's leave this thing alone. That's how I understood my providing that detail to the minister, was almost like an early warning to say, don't get into that conversation.
And you were speaking to him on the 30th, in what capacity? As minister or
as a minister,
or campaigning member of the ANC?
As a minister.
So you were also conflating his roles then?
Sorry, Commissioner?
You were also conflating his roles, because on the 30th you speak to him as a minister, and then in the meeting of the 31st you say, we don't know what capacity you are in here, when in fact on the 30th you are communicating with him as a minister.
Well,
I'm just confused, but I think more seriously concerned that you seem also to be confused about how to use your role. You use your role to provide information about a candidate, opposing candidate, to the minister, and then you say, but the minister is misusing his role, his power of office by seeking information about a candidate, when in fact you gave him information about a candidate in exactly that capacity.
Yes, Chair. Well, my conversation with the minister at all given times will always be with the minister, it will be with nobody else. It wouldn't be in his capacity as anyone else other than the minister. That's the only relationship I can have. Other than that, I wouldn't have a relationship with the minister.
And when you speak to him on the 30th, so that when his comrades or his branch raises these issues, he can deal with it, you expect that discussion would be happening within the political context, right? In the course of campaigning.
That's correct.
And you see nothing wrong with saying to him, you as an ANC member, I'm the police, when you as an ANC member, when you speak to your comrades, this is the information about the candidate. And I'm sorry, I'm just confused about your own position here.
You see, Commissioner, I think that's why I said earlier on, as an official, the conversations one would try to not be overly expressive of what wants to say, especially with the minister, because you don't want to overstep at the same time, but you also don't want to find yourself in a space where you are party to something that you ordinarily should not be part of, in the sense of when you look at that particular meeting, that meeting should not have taken place. It wasn't supposed to have taken place. Ordinarily, if a minister visits the station, we will have a notice. It comes from his office even to the National Commissioner or to the Provincial Commissioner. There's a secretariat that coordinates that. There's a template given to us to prepare a presentation, and the focus area is directed to us to what we must brief the minister or senior person visiting. Ordinarily, that's the process.
Yes, I don't have a difficulty with the meeting of the 31st and your concern about it. It's actually a shared concern. And I can see the confusion that you would have been sitting with at that meeting on the 31st, whether you're speaking to the minister or you're speaking to an ANC leader. I can see that problem. But what I have a difficulty with is the 30th, that it seems that you, using your office or your position as the police, you go and involve yourself or involve the office, in fact, in something that has absolutely nothing to do with your office. You speak to the minister to say, when you speak to your comrades about an opposition candidate, here's the information about it. I do have a difficulty with that, and especially that you initiated this.
I doubt that, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner. General, if you have a look at page 10 of your annexure bundle, still AG 3,